SimTheWorld here. We are jumping into Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. We've been playing through the story orders, and this is the 40th story order in the series. Coming up to the end, but let's keep pushing through and see what this customer wants. So he says, "Good morning. I was told that you are an honest mechanic and a trustworthy person." Well, one of our subscribers might beg to differ. So I present to you a baby TC Typhoon. It used to reach speeds of an F5 Tornado on track, but that was a long time ago. I want you to make this car look and drive like new again. I'm counting on you. So not many of the parts are shown here. We got some suspension parts, exhaust manifold, serpentine belt, battery, repair some body parts, change the oil, and repaint the car. So we got some stuff to do. I'm going to take all the body parts off because I'm going to try to repair what we can and then go from there. Also, what I'd like to do is also we'll spend the $1,000 to take care of the rust around the car. It's a little extra money, but I think it makes the car look a lot nicer. Of course, it's hard to tell, but don't forget these side windows on this job. It's hard to see them there. I'm going to move this up to the lifter as well, because we'll need to have it on the lifter to do anything with the welder. So at the repair bench, let's repair these parts and put everything back on. Oh, I forgot this one too. I was wondering why there's only one mirror. There we go. Now we can get this car, get the parts back on. It's quick and easy to do this. I'm going to replace that rusty license plate too, with something a little more interesting. Let's go with a Denmark plate. That's where he's from. License plates don't exactly work like that. You can't just pick a different country, but maybe we're shipping this car overseas. We've expanded business. I don't know why they'd ship a car to have me look at it, but maybe it's because I'm that honest of a mechanic. I'd like to think so. Alright, so that should take care of the body parts on the outside. Of course, we went a little over and above. We didn't have to repair the hoods or the trunk. Actually, did we do the doors? I don't think we did the doors. Let's do the doors real quick. Yeah, they're at 18%. I don't know why we wouldn't repair those anyhow. Even for the job, that's still a low percent. You couldn't really see a difference, but let's get under the hood here. So we got to take the exhaust manifold off. It mentioned the battery, oil B. It mentioned a few things. The serpentine belt. Actually, it looks like those parts are missing. So if you're doing this job, make sure you're keeping an eye out. And yeah, the crankshaft pulley is missing. The water pump pulley is missing. And of course, the serpentine belts. Get this back together. And the fan. But otherwise, it looks like everything else is in the car. Of course, I want to take off this exhaust manifold. We'll get the exhaust replaced altogether. The radiator can come out. We'll swap that with a new one. We probably could repair that too. But it looks like the bulk of our work's going to be actually on the rear end there. So let's get this car lifted up. I'm going to take apart the rear end, and I'll come back when we're ready to repair everything. So it looked like everything on the rear end needed to be replaced. It was all rusted out. I separated the tires because the tires were at like 1 or 2%, but the rims were at 62%, so there's really no reason to replace those. Normally I just buy new rims and new tires and do them all myself. but since the rims are already in good shape, and at 62%, you know, this is one of those parts, if we repaired the outside, the body parts, the rims are pretty visible too. So I figured it's always nice to have 100% rims. It just makes it look like a complete job. Of course, we'll leave some of the other components. We won't replace everything. But the things on the outside are nice to take care of. Also you need to load a couple of the front springs. Try to juggle some of these jobs as we go. This is where it'd be nice to have a second balancer. So I feel like, at least for the jobs here, we're done putting the tires on much quicker than it takes to balance each tire. And then it means we end up just sitting here waiting for the last 2 tires to complete. Which looks to me like there's plenty of space where you could fit another balancer. And we already saw a motorcycle mechanic simulator. They're going to give you the options of placing those in your shop. And to me, that is, you know, you can customize this garage with that ladder there, and you can kind of change the colors and the skins. But the next level of customizing, I think, needs to happen in the form of placeables, be it tool benches, being it the tools themselves. We also saw the option of doing that in Diesel Brothers Truck Building Simulator. We played through that series not too long ago, and that was, you know, all these games have elements that you'd like to see in one. However, none of them contain them all. And maybe there's a reason for that. Like with the Diesel Brothers Truck Building Simulator, you got the lift kits, you got the different options for the trucks. But of course, it's a little more difficult to do that, you know, when this game has, shoot, you know, the base game has like 40 cars in it, not including DLCs. And then when you introduce the DLCs, and then you get modded vehicles, it's really more cars than you can ever imagine to work on. And in those games, of course, you only have a few choices. So it's picking your poison. Do you want to be able to customize everything to your heart's content? Or do you want the option of having different vehicles? I don't know what the right answer is. I think there's a happy medium in there somewhere. If I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Car Mechanic Simulator cut back on a few of the cars and giving us more options for those cars to, you know, change in-game. But who knows? Who knows what the new title will bring? I'm sure it'll be great. Of course, everything here on the rear end needs to be replaced, so I'm doing that real quick. It's not unlike the last episode. I feel like we've been getting some lucky hits here. Suspension work, as tedious as it may be, it's also pretty straightforward. You can see everything here. We had a few parts that were missing under the hood, but that's okay. We took care of that pretty quickly. You get the drive shaft in. I wonder when we paint this back to factory color, I wonder if it's going to be white again. I feel like the last couple cars we've painted to factory color have ended up being white. And I don't remember that being a thing. I thought the factory colors used to be, you know, typically a color. So I don't know if there's a glitch with the game where they pushed an update to just default to white. Either are possible. I'm going to finish this up. I'll meet you guys under the hood. We do have to drain the oil and get new oil in before we can finish. Alright. So we are out from underneath the car. Let's get the oil drained. There we go. Surprised there's still oil in there. That's quite a bit, too. Now let's lower the cart and double check we found everything. Hate surprises. I'll go slow, that way you can take a look through here. See if you got everything too. Exhaust manifolds, yeah, we still got to get those in. Oh. Oh no. Oh, we're still missing parts. What else could be wrong? Oh no. Let me some of these wires off. How's the spark plugs look fine? See, this is why I probably should have tested. Make sure that nothing, you know, there wasn't something hiding here. The rocker arms, those don't look bad. Okay, I'm going to have to search this car, see where I went wrong. Hopefully it's not the pistons. I really hope it's not the pistons. Ah, now I'm worried. So if you couldn't tell, it was my greatest fear come true. 5 of the pistons and piston rings needed to be replaced. Like usual, we replaced all of them. So this job wasn't as easy as it seemed. I just assumed since so many of the parts on the engine itself were already in good condition that everything inside the engine was fine. And that was my mistake. So with the pistons in place, let's make sure we got everything tackled here. Yeah, look at that. All the green check marks. Yeah, we were missing all these rings and pistons. Let's get some oil in this bad boy. We'll ship this off to paint, see what our factory color is, and we'll finish up this episode. If you guys haven't checked out my latest video on rev heads, it's an older car game, but I think a lot of you guys have been talking about how it'd be fun to have a game where you could drive around and race the cars that you build. This is a game that does just that. It was posted a few days ago, so why don't you guys go check that out and let me know what you think. If it's an interesting game, if you've tried it, if it doesn't interest you. Of course, factory default was white again, so I don't like the white color on a car. It just looks plain. There's very few cars that I think look good in white. This is closer. It's smaller, but what do you guys think? Hopefully the customer likes it. We're getting paid quite a bit here. $5,000 bonus. $21,000 task bonus. You know what? Let me go test. The interior condition was at a real low percentage. It's only $100. Let me see if that changes the price. Now that I'm paying attention. I know I mentioned it last episode. And yeah, I don't see the $100 didn't change the money spent. It didn't change the total payout. So it was, you know, essentially it's taken out of my bonus, but I think it was worth it to do it right. Everything's done. Let's get this job finished. And with that, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.